morning, everyone, and Shabbat Shalom. This week's Torah portion tells us the mitzvah of preparing cities of refuge. The Torah says in biblical times, if somebody murdered another person, whether intentionally or accidentally, the first thing they would do is run away to a city of refuge to find safety, security, and protection from the family members of the victim who may want to avenge their blood. And then they would stand trial to determine if they were guilty or innocent of the crime of murder. And the Torah says, Tachin lecha haderech, which means prepare the way for the murderer. And the rabbis say, what does this mean to prepare the way? It means there have to be big signposts on all the streets saying this is the direction to the city of refuge. So the murderer can find his way easily to the Arei Miklat, the city of refuge. And the question is, at the end of last week's Torah portion, we read about the commandment to go to Jerusalem 3 times a day, that a Jew would travel to the Holy Temple to offer sacrifices and celebrate the major festivals. And the question is, why are there no signs commanded to be put up for the travelers to Jerusalem, to say this is the direction to Jerusalem, this is the direction to the Holy Temple? And I would like to provide 2 answers. The first answer is that, someone once said that the word mazal, luck, in Judaism, is 3 letters, mem, zayin, lamed. Mem stands for makom, place, location. Zayin stands for zman, time. And lamed stands for lashon, speech. A rabbi say, what is mazel? What is good fortune? Being at the right place, at the right time, and saying the right thing. Every one of us can think about how the right person showed up at the right time in our life and said the right thing to us, and that changed the entire course of our life. And so perhaps the rabbis say, when the Jew is going to Jerusalem, to the Holy Temple, we don't want signposts. We want him to stop and interact with the local residents of Jerusalem and say, do you know how to get to Jerusalem? Do you know how to get to the Holy Temple? And meet one another. And hopefully they will, through their interactions, learn something and gain in a way that it could be a defining moment in their life. They'll meet the right person at the right time who will say the right thing. This is something we can all think about. Who could we be good fortune to? What can I say to someone at the right time and at the right place that could help them advance their lives in a better direction? But perhaps there's another reason why. You see, we all know that we're inundated with bad news, unfortunately. And we may not realize this consciously or subconsciously, but we're all affected by the negative news and things we hear, whether it's slander, gossip. It affects our soul. On the other hand, when we hear positive things, it inspires us, it elevates us, it lifts us up. And perhaps our rabbis are saying as follows: don't have the murderer stop along the way to ask for directions, that he's going to a city of refuge because he murdered someone, either intentionally or unintentionally. Don't spread that news. That will not be beneficial for others. On the other hand, when a Jew is traveling to Jerusalem with a heart filled with gratitude, to bring offerings to God, to celebrate the holidays, to bring his gifts, his tithes to the temple to give to the Kohen, that's the type of person who we want to interact with as many people as possible. So people should be inspired by his love, by his gratitude, by his generosity. And therefore, don't put up signs for the person going to Jerusalem. Let him meet as many people. He'll say, why are you going to Jerusalem? I'm bringing a Thanksgiving offering. Something wonderful happened in my life. I want to thank God. And then people will be inspired to want to do better. This is a great tip for the month of Elul. Let's spread good news. When we hear or see something that's inspiring, share it with others. Tell it over at your Shabbat table or your weekday table. Let us all share things that will motivate us to be better, because there's nothing more inspiring than seeing others do wonderful deeds. Monday is Labor Day. This is Labor Day weekend. And many of us are thinking about, okay, where am I going to have my barbecue? Whose house am I going to? Where am I going to get my burger and my steak on Labor Day? Well, let me tell you about someone who inspired me just yesterday. And in the spirit of sharing good news, I want to share this with everyone. We have a member of our synagogue. I won't share his name because he didn't give me permission to tell over the story. Very fine fellow. And he owns a farm up north in Florida. And he called me yesterday and he said, I am bringing a shochet, a ritual slaughterer from Miami, to come up to my farm on Sunday. And he's going to spend Sunday and Monday slaughtering 3 cows on my farm. And then I'm going to have him drive down to Miami and stop in 3 different communities to deliver 1 cow to each community. And I want to deliver a cow of 330 pounds of meat that are going to come in 11 chunks of 30 pounds each to the Palm Beach Synagogue. And I want you to have it butchered, cut up to the right sizes, and distribute it to poor families who need meat for the high holidays, for Rosh Hashanah, for the meals, for the Sukkot, so that they could have food, and not just food, but not just chicken, but they can't afford meat. Let them have good meat on their tables for themselves, for their children, to have a joyous holiday. And I was so happy to be a part of this mitzvah, and I said, of course, I'll be waiting for the meat on Monday night, and we'll butcher it up, and we'll distribute it to families in need, according to the sizes that they need. But I said to myself, wow, what a wonderful person. High holidays are coming. What is he thinking about? How can I put food on the table of families so they could have a joyous holiday? This is the way we get ready for the high holidays. Not just thinking about where am I going to have my barbecue on Labor Day, or where am I going to have a good time for myself. But he's thinking about meat, but not that he's going to eat, but that he's going to give and distribute to others. Everyone has a special mitzvah they can do for the holidays, or in general. Think about, what could I do to be a giver? And if you hear something positive, spread the good news. We surely have enough of the bad news. Have a wonderful Shabbat.